Hi everyone, I'm Terry Hooker and this is an introduction to mindfulness. Have you ever noticed when you're washing the dishes or driving the car that the mind can wander off and be thinking about things that are totally unrelated to the present moment? Maybe you're thinking about a vacation or you're worrying about something in the future. Any number of things can come up. In either case, you're thinking about things that are totally unrelated to the present moment. So the mind has wandered off and is thinking about other things. Now mindfulness is the opposite of this wandering state of mind. When we consciously pull the mind's attention back to the present moment experience based on bodily sensations or what is actually arising inside, be it thought or otherwise, we notice what's happening in the present moment. Most of the time, we don't experience this kind of present moment attention. So then when we do practice mindfulness, we really notice the difference. We can learn how to act in a way that is thoughtful and not based on reaction or habit. That is the benefit of mindfulness. So where did mindfulness begin? In the late 70s, Jon Kabat-Zinn, studying Buddhist meditation, had the idea of translating the teachings of a Buddhist meditation practice into an 8-week course called Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction. And it was initially trialed in a hospital setting for patients with a number of illnesses. So since then, it has grown in application and has been used in many settings, be it schools or corporations or in private therapy. So how can we practice mindfulness? Well, informal practices can be learned very easily just by getting exposed to simple exercises that help pull the mind's attention to the present moment. It can be as simple as taking a few moments when we wake up first thing in the day to notice the breath and notice how we're feeling in the body. Another example is noticing changes in your posture. So throughout the day you might notice when you're slouching or how you're feeling in your body, if any pain or tension is developing anywhere. You might take just a minute or two to see if you can first notice, but then release any of that tension that has popped up. You can also take mindfulness breaks just by taking a couple of minutes to sit quietly and notice what you're experiencing. If you're having a stressful moment and that thought arises, it can be wonderful to clear the mind and get back to what you're doing. You can also notice what's happening when you're waiting in line. So like if you're at the grocery store or gas station and you have a few minutes to wait, you can notice what you're thinking about, what kind of reaction you're having to the waiting experience. So those are some simple examples of ways that you can practice mindfulness in daily life. For a more formal training, you can learn how to practice mindfulness meditation or more detailed exercises like a body scan. A body scan is when we close our eyes for a few minutes and notice everything that's happening in the body from head to toe. You take some time to look all around throughout the body and notice, identify, label the sensations that are arising. With mindfulness meditation practice, there's another component added of concentration. So that would be a formal practice of learning to meditate by taking maybe 20 minutes a day to sit quietly, develop concentration through observing the breath and observing sensations and observing our reactions to those sensations as well. So those are just some brief ideas for how you would practice mindfulness throughout your day. So what are the benefits of mindfulness? One of the main things that we can benefit from practicing mindfulness is just feeling less stress and anxiety throughout our day. It can lower the blood pressure, it can help strengthen the immune system, and lead to a feeling of more fully engaged in our activities. It can also help us feel a stronger sense of connection to the people and activities that we're involved with. Quite a few benefits from mindfulness, and you got to ask, why or how does this work? The way mindfulness works is that through quieting the mind and recognizing body sensations, there's some subtle changes going on in the brain. As we shift more towards an external focus and dealing with external environments and shifting to the internal focus, the mind is turning inward and activating the parasympathetic nervous system. There's a number of complex interactions, but basically when we trigger the parasympathetic nervous system, we are entering a state of healing and relaxation, which is commonly experienced when we're sleeping at night. So to trigger it during the day is to invite those same kind of experiences of finding healing and harmonizing the body conditions. So how can we learn more about mindfulness? Well, you can take a mindfulness-based training and learn how to practice mindfulness meditation or other mindfulness exercises, or simply adopt some of the informal practices of noticing what's happening in the present moment. Basic mindfulness can be broken down to include two different components. One is simply observing what's arising in the body, and two, observing whatever reaction we're having to that sensation. As we get more involved with mindfulness and we want to practice a deeper mindfulness meditation practice, then there's a third element added in of concentration. Meditation can be as short as a few minutes or up to an hour per day. Really just depends on the individual and what their needs are. So there you have it, an introduction to mindfulness. I hope you've enjoyed listening to this brief talk, and I encourage you to find out more about mindfulness practices. Thank you.